Catus, Maximus here. This time just a simple quick video about this Walden SpinTite. There's been for more than a century, a long history of misspellings when describing various hand and power tools in the United States. It's as American as apple pie. Really, as I've found so many hand tools and power tools, it's something that they do to distinguish. It kind of catches the eye when you actually see that something is misspelled. SpinTite. This is a Stevens Walden of Walden tools, but rarely do you actually see the Stevens associated with it, coming out of Worcester, Massachusetts. They really mark this thing. I have a lot of 1/4" drivers, and they even have SpinTite Walden 3118 on the shaft too. I kind of like this one just because, one, it's a red handle, and surprisingly enough, not a lot of red handles. I have, once again, seen a lot of 1/4" spinner handles, or you could call this a linear interchangeable head wrench, or an interchangeable drive nut driver. A lot of different terms you could use for this. Do like the red handle. It's a little bit fancier. We actually have ridges between, or every other, I guess, side. 6-sided, which means you get a pretty good grip. And actually what I kind of like is they included the hexes down at the bottom, so if you're got a little bit of tension on the fastener, you have something a little bit better to grab onto. And out of all my 1/4" drivers, this kind of like standard 6-sided screwdriver handle actually is kind of rare. A lot of them are 4-sided or just a lot more distinctive. This old Thorson here is about as close as it gets, but the Thorson's was indeed different design language on the handle. We can see how they put the ridges in there. You can see, I don't know if that spirals from when they drilled the handle. I think that's what it is, but you don't have that effect here on this old Walden. And of all the spinner handles I have, this is the only one that actually has a special name. Pretty good, pretty deep protrusion for that ball detent, and pretty strong. I would call the ball detent on this for a 1/4". I mean, listen to this. Well, that happened. Really snaps on with authority. That's the best thing I can say about it. It's a pretty darn strong detent, and I like that on 1/4" because a lot of even though these 1/4" sockets have the little undercuts to keep them on the tool better, many 1/4" drive accessories and sockets don't. They just rely purely on friction, so it's actually kind of nice to have a extra strong ball. So anyway, not a lot else to say besides I like the Stevens Walden 1/4" spinner handle, the SpinTite, just because it's the only one I have that actually has like a dedicated name to it. And the last thing to say is you can see how the end, it was forged, but it was just heated up and squished into a square. Where it appears many of them, like this Thorson, are actually machined. And squishing it into a square is perfectly acceptable. It just doesn't leave it quite as defined. It has a little bit more rounded corners, but there is the advantage of, instead of just being, I mean, this piece of material is just a piece of wire. It's just thick tool steel annealed wire that they manufacture it out of, not actually forged. And so doing this is a forging operation. It does provide just a little bit of a strengthening to the faces, and some people have commented on that even though nicely machined ones, actually decided to grab another example instead of even comparing that Thorson. We have this Japanese Koken, which has like a perfectly machined, really beautifully machined anvil. But I still have a lot of confidence in this Walden just because it has been squished. That is a forging process. And it's the only one that has a red handle. It's actually kind of distinctive among all the spinner handles that seem to be some flavors of either blue or orangish yellow. Anyway, thanks for watching.